Hey everybody, Angel here with the Hydration Project, and today we're going to be talking about hydro shots, hydrogen generators. These things, what are they? What do they do? And how do they help you? Stay tuned. Hey everybody, welcome to the Hydration Project. I'm your host, Angel. And today we're going to talk about hydrogen, water, and we're actually going to discuss these devices, right? If you're new to hydrogen water, you might be coming across more and more of these devices. And this is what we're going to discuss in today's episode. Now, before we go any further, I want to play a clip for you. And this is going to show systemic inflammation with the red blood cells. Okay, this is under a microscope. They took a sample of blood that's dehydrated from a dehydrated person, and you're going to notice that the red blood cells they're stuck together because there's inflammation. And when we have inflammation in our blood actually almost coagulates, gets a little bit thicker, sticks together. But when we drink molecular hydrogen water, or just known as hydrogen water, the blood cells actually come alive. And notice when the lady says this is blood on fire. No, it's blood on hydrogen. And this is where the miracle happens. This is where the benefits for you, your family, anyone who incorporates hydrogen water into their daily routine and make it a lifestyle. This is where we could actually help aid our body and start limiting a lot of diseases that pop up. So here, I'm going to play a clip, watch it, and stay till the end because I'm going to show you one device that's very unique.
This may take a little bit more to shift because this is very rouleau. Okay, so this hasn't just been a day of not having water. This is a much longer time of having a high level of dehydration happening in the body, and therefore we've got a systemic inflammatory terrain that we're looking at. So to change this for the individual would make a huge impact. They would start to feel a real difference from being hydrated. This is a white blood cell here, which is substantially much more constricted than actually even the other two samples. But there is energy in the sample. But what has happened to this blood?
Can you stop that, please? So that you can see.
Oh. This is the blood we were just looking at before?
Yeah.
Wow. This is like, wow. I was going to say
This is racing.
blood on fire, but it's blood on hydrogen. Yes.
The extremely inflamed blood.
Wow.
It's very impressive, ain't it? Someone who's very extremely dehydrated, that is their blood. Now, if that is you and you never feel hydrated, that is possibly what your blood looks like. And that's not a good thing, because if our blood's not flowing and it's clumped up like that, what do you think is going to happen over long exposure, over a long time frame of not being hydrated? What do you think is going to happen? Illness is going to pop up, diseases are going to arise. We're not going to feel our best. And unfortunately, in today's world, it's hard to be at 100% physically, mentally, and spiritually, because the state of the world is very chaotic. And unfortunately, it is very easy to suck that in. It is easy to suck all that negativity in if we don't have the right tools or know how to navigate this world mentally, which affects us spiritually and physically. It is a very scary thing to know this is what our blood looks like. If we continue on, there's only one result. We're gonna die a lot faster. But it's interesting. When we're born into this world, we're automatically kind of dying. In a sense, we hit a peak, which is in our 20s, and then after about 25, 26, 28, we start declining, because in our 20s, that's our peak age. So if we look at it in a very simple way, if we're in our 30s and 40s, How much damage have we done to the body? Now we have to start almost reversing all that damage and exposure to stress, chemicals, radiation, all types of things in this world we're exposed to. We have to start with us. If we're not at 100%, how can we be 100% for our family members, our friends, for an employment, for everything we want to accomplish on this earth? How can we perform our best? Everyone's talking about hydrogen water, hydrogen bottles. These have many different names. But what I know them as, these are called hydro shots, hydrogen generators, because it's a device that as long as we have filtered water in the device, it's going to work and it's going to create molecular hydrogen gas infused water. Now, the reason why they call it hydrogen water is because once it's activated, there's a positive and negative host. There's a cathode and an anode. What's happening here is once we turn it on, there's a form of electrolysis that happens, which basically there's electricity created in the water. Now, the technology is in the base, and it's something called a PEM, which is a proton exchange membrane. So what's happening here is molecules are getting displaced, there's extra electrons, but what we are doing, we're separating the oxygen from the hydrogen. So this is why they call it hydrogen water, because we're actually taking out the oxygen, and what we're left is basically a shot of hydrogen water. And as you can see, the bubbles, right? So this is where the therapeutic aspects come into play. When we spike our system and we saturate it with extra hydrogen, now the daily medical dose that is recommended is 0.5 ppm or 0.5 milligram, which isn't really much because you could eat a handful of veggies, greens, and that's going to give you that 0.5. But where we want to be about 3 to 4 times a day is going to be about 3.3 to closer to about 6 ppms. As long as we're taking that in about 3, 4, 5 times a day, we're going to saturate the system, and that's when we're going to have the therapeutic benefits from the water. Okay, now molecular hydrogen gas that gets infused in here, what happens is the H2 molecule, because it's 2 parts hydrogen, it takes an extra hydrogen molecule and it donates it to the free radicals in the body. Now, we have free radicals in our body all the time because the body gets stressed out. We're exposed to medications, radiation, pollution, bad diet, bad relationship, and we stress out the body. When we do that, we expose our body or we create free radicals within. We're fighting an enemy within the body. So hydrogen water has the ability to donate that extra hydrogen molecule, and it neutralizes the free radical, which is a hydroxyl, which is one of the most deadly free radicals in the body. Now, when it neutralizes it, it turns it into water, and it limits the ability for disease and illnesses to arise, which is what we want. We don't want disease in our life. Sometimes we can't help it. So if we just incorporate hydrogen water into our daily lives and make it part of our regimen, I can promise you one thing. You're going to start feeling a lot better because we're limiting those free radicals in our body. We're help neutralizing the enemy from within. And if we could do that, as you saw in the video, we're going to help our blood cells. We're going to help our red blood cells, our white blood cells, and most importantly, we're going to help the mitochondria. If we could have mitochondria support, this is where miracles happens. If we help the cells, it creates better tissues. If we help the tissues, it creates better organs. If we create better organs, we create better systems. And when we have better systems in the body, we have a better body. We have to help aid the body. And I've been drinking the water over a year now, and it is night and day. I cannot not drink molecular hydrogen water. And I own many of these devices, and I am for the power of molecular hydrogen water because it works with 170 different disease models. And that's impressive, and it is backed by 2,500 plus studies, creditable articles from PubMed. You could check it at hydrogenstudies.com. All across the board in the mainstream media and the scientific community is becoming more prominent because in the last 10 years they're finding it is the molecular hydrogen that is help aiding the body, not the alkaline, not the pH. It is the hydrogen in the water that is the therapeutic aspect, the secret to anti-aging. It has antioxidant properties. This is why we call it antioxidant water. This is a hangover water. This is living water. There's so many terms to market it as, and that is the problem in the world right now. Marketing is key. If you know how to market a product, you can pretty much convince anybody of anything. The purpose of my channel, my content, which please like, subscribe, share it if you find value, if you think I explain it well and you kind of learn something, please help me grow the channel, hit that bell, do what you got to do. Help me help you, because all I want to do is bring you the most education about hydrogen, these types of devices, how it helps the body, along with become more of a person in the hydrogen space. And so is hydrogen water a scam? No, but we have to verify that the company promoting and selling these products are following the few protocols you have to worry about. Okay, like I mentioned, if we don't verify that this is a high quality product, one, this can enhance things in the water and put more things into the water that you don't need. One thing that's very important is, one, if you get this device or any device on the market, we never want to fill it up, because hydrogen is a gas. And guess what? You could actually blow that membrane and it's not going to work anymore. I look at these as medical devices, and you have to be very delicate with them. If you drop them, if you're too rough with them, if you overfill it, you're going to destroy it. You're going to blow out that membrane and it's not going to work anymore. It's not going to turn on, or it may turn on, but it's not going to create any hydrogen. And it could also destroy the battery, because sometimes water could get on that electrical component and actually fry it. So when we have these devices, you have to be very careful, and whatever company you do purchase from, read the directions very thoroughly, because we don't we don't like directions. So we take it out the box, we open it up, we just fill it with water, and we're running it and never knowing what we're doing. And I have seen many scenarios and cases where they've had it for a week, a couple of days, and it just stopped working. And then they're calling the company and they're like, oh, this didn't work. It's a scam. No, it's user error. It is user error. You don't want to fill it up to the top. What you want to do is actually keep about maybe about an inch from the top. Give it some room to breathe, okay, and expand, because otherwise, like I mentioned, we're gonna blow it out. Now, there's many different devices on the market. Just make sure the company is a good company. They have a good mission, a good person behind it, because there's a lot of companies out there that don't support the product, that don't give the quality of support, the quality of education, the quality overall. Right? Because at the end of the day, it's your money. You speak with your money. You put your money where you want, and support these companies. Do what you want. I'm just advising, if it's not H2 certified, if they're not using gas chromatography, be wary of the company. All right. Now, there's two companies I work with that I trust, that I agree with the products. Okay. Now, if we think about the process of getting these devices from a business standpoint, they have to come from somewhere. All right. A lot of companies, they buy the product wholesale, they put their name on it, and they put it out there. But these products, a lot of the information actually comes from Japan. There's not a true USA company that creates these products. Unfortunately, in the United States, we've gone away from the manufacturing process, and everything's outsourced. So no company on the market, except one, which I'm going to reveal. Stay tuned, and I'm going to give you one company that I believe is of the highest quality in the hydrogen bottle space. Okay. Now, any company out there, I promise you, they're getting the bottles from somewhere, which is not a bad thing. What matters is they're actually putting the time, the money, and effort to verify that product that they're getting is of highest quality, because if we don't, it's going to create higher forms of chlorine, higher forms of metal in the water, and that's what you're going to drink, and it's not going to help you as well as it should. It's not. And this is the thing about the bottles. If we're not verifying the bottles, you're not going to get a great product. You're not going to get a great experience, and you're going to think it's an overall scam. And I have seen many bottles on the market where they actually get tested and it has high amounts of chlorine, metal, all this other crap in there that you don't want. So at the same time, municipal tap water has 60 to 90,000 chemicals. So there's chemicals in our tap water, right? Our food, our air. We just don't need extra chemicals. We just don't need it. Now, across the board, the technology is the PEM membrane. There's only one company on the market that has a very proprietary PEM that's designed for the bottle, and I'm going to reveal that here soon enough. Okay, now you could go on Amazon and get a $30 bottle. Here's another important aspect about these bottles. One, we don't want to have glass. You do not want to have glass in your hydrogen bottle. And the reason being is hydrogen is a gas and it expands. So if your hydrogen bottle actually gets a nick, a fracture, a crack, guess what could possibly happen? That bottle could actually explode. So if any company out there is using glass that you purchased their bottle from, return it, because there is a chance that could actually explode on you and send you to the hospital. I seen one case where this gentleman had a glass hydrogen bottle and it exploded on him and he went into the hospital because it was like a grenade. Any bottle out there that is of glass, I don't recommend it because of that aspect. If you drop that bottle or if it tips over, it will break. Now, what we want to use is something called Triton 7 plastic. Triton 7 plastic is a medical grade plastic. It is food safe. It is of the highest quality of plastics out there. It's not going to leach into the water. It's not going to harm the water. It's sturdy if you drop it. I've dropped them a handful of times, and honestly, I was scared when I picked it up. Oh, it's broken. No, they could take enough of an impact, but you don't want to throw it or be aggressive and try to test that out because everything has a breaking point. But from a safety standard, we don't want glass. We don't want glass on these hydrogen products. Triton 7 plastic is the way to go. I promise you. Okay, and all the information I talk about in this video, do your own research. I have a few recommendations if you really want to learn what these devices are. 2 companies that I've worked with, and they by far have the best education and knowledge on what hydrogen is, because the people they work with are credible medical personnel who are truly for the molecular hydrogen aspects and benefits for the body. I'm going to put a recommendation in the description. Unfortunately, my channel's smaller. I've been having issues with YouTube, so I don't have the link clickability in my descriptions because YouTube, I had a previous violation, and it's just been affecting my ability to grow a page faster. And so if you could like, share, subscribe, maybe if I get it, the channel to be bigger, I could change that. But if you appreciate the value, hey, do what you can for me. I appreciate it any way, shape, or form. Now, there's one company out there that I believe it's the top bottle on the market. And I'm going to give a brief description on what it is. But this bottle by far is the best bottle I've seen because it was designed from a clinician and a medical standpoint to help the practitioner help their clients. So when they created this bottle, they put so much thought into it, care, love, consideration. When it was designed, it was crafted with almost perfection. Here it is. This bottle right here. This bottle is from Lumivitae, and I'm going to do a whole video series or just a video on this bottle by itself. But when they crafted this bottle, they created it from a practitioner standpoint to help their clients. So everything that went in here was built and designed based on what the body is. And Lumivitae, I believe it means back to source. So they designed this with magnetism. There's a device in here that creates magnetism. There's a device on the top that creates frequency. And there's a fine balance between the ORP, pH, and the hydrogen. So there's this fine dance of what this creates. And by far, this is a beautiful bottle, and it is like none other on the market. And the reason why the PEM is specific to this bottle, because you could look into any company on the market, and I promise you, this bottle is completely different. From the PEM, the structure, who stands behind this, they control the bottle, the manufacturing process. Like, this is made in Portugal. This is made in Portugal by a gentleman called Nuno Nina, who is the engineer. Carrie Drinkwine, who is I believe like the founder, or she's just the head person of the company, but they control every aspect of that company. And what they have coming up, it's a beautiful thing. And I think this is number one on my list of hydrogen bottles. And it is H2 analytic certified. They use gas chromatography. It is a very well built bottle, and honestly, when you hold it, you feel what this is, and I just love it. So if you're interested in the two companies that I do recommend, one's going to be Healthy Hydration, because I've been working with their devices the longest, and they have a good solid product line. They do bigger machines like the one behind me. This is a standalone, like a Keurig for water. There's another device that has a hard water line, which is more volume based. Links in the bio. If you're interested in the Lumivitae bottle, everything's in my bio. All the links are in the bio to the two companies that I do trust. And just because they put the time, effort, and money into actually their products and verify it is what it is. Okay, if you found value on what I just explained overall, if you have any comments, concerns, or hey, what about this bottle, send me recommendations. I would love to look into what you're looking at, so maybe I could help you understand what you're looking at, if that makes sense. But please like, subscribe, share my content, and I just aim to bring more value, more education about what these products are, and just help people understand it a little bit more. There's just so much misinformation on what these devices are, and if you do get the wrong one, you could actually create something you actually don't want to take in. So Angel here with the Hydration Project. All my information is in the bio, all my links. There's free resources and whatnot. But hey, until the next video, have a blessed day.